yesterday with Leicester. I'm going nowhere. That's the words he said to me. So Andros Townsend having lunch now, then he'll go home. He's going nowhere. Players coming in. Well, I understand Omar Niasse from Everton is one player they are interested in. But that's far from being done at all. But it's just one player they are interested in. Mangala from Manchester City was the bid they made this morning. And don't rule out Mamadou Sakho, crowd favourite here, of course. But Liverpool want that 30 million. But as the time ticks to 11, will Liverpool soften their stance? We'll wait and see.
There you go. See it on the bottom of your screen. Let's go straight, shall we, to Tottenham's training ground. Get the details of that signing from Jamie Weir.
Yeah, breaking news, Rob, here that Serge Aurier is now officially a Spurs player. He's not here today. He's with the Ivory Coast in Gabon. That's where they're playing their match later on this evening. But they have now confirmed at the club £23 million or there or thereabouts in the region of that is what we understand. A marauding attacking right back, very much in the mould of Kyle Walker, so a direct replacement for him. Serge Aurier confirmed as a Spurs player. The question now, how many other players will Daniel Levy be getting over the line today?
Well, a recap of the big breaking news of the hour. It's a done deal. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joining Liverpool from Arsenal. All the latest transfers as we get them here on deadline day.
Proud sponsors of Sky Sports News HQ, The Times and The Sunday Times.
One legend deserves another. Succulent chicken breast, lettuce, and your choice of sauce in a bakehouse roll. The Chicken Legend range from McDonald's.
Knit and Stitch Creative, an all-new craft collection. Each issue comes with 2 textured Kriya yarns, features inspired design ideas for you and your home, plus easy-to-follow instructions. Square by square, create this luxurious throw and become a knitting expert. Get creative at KriyaCrafts.com. Knit and Stitch Creative, issue 1 only 99p, out now.
The Help Lottery pays out a whopping £250 for matching 4 balls. No one else gives you that. And at £1, we're half the price of Lotto.
Summer savings are ending at DFS. The Avicii is now half price at £499. But not for long, DFS.
We're in Uganda. I don't know where the hell.
Some folk doubt Cravendale's mystical Mooney-cow is real.
Not real? Have you had all this fresh tasting?
There have been hundreds of sightings.
In the moonlight, she appears by this rock.
First, I thought it was a stone, and then it moved. Stones don't move, do they? She's all glowy with white hair, like a pretty lady.
Maybe it's those rocks.
She once rode her. That's why she didn't come home one night.
That's fresh.
I didn't start more than for spreadsheets and do lunch, but for this life. He wants to drive, but insurance is pricey. Mom's tired of riding him around, but doesn't trust his driving. Some pickle. But there's hope. Drive safer with a smart wheel Gizmo and save cash. Freedom for spring ducklings and sweet dreams for the papas and mamas. We do more than.
Jones made his way into the box.
Live from Loftus Road, big names take to the field in aid of those affected by the Grenfell Tower fire. Game for Grenfell, Saturday at 2 on Sky 1.
Proud sponsors of Sky Sports News HQ, The Times and The Sunday Times.
It has been a big hour of breaking news right here on Sky Sports News. Let's bring you right up to date with the headlines. And we'll start off with Tottenham. They've announced the signing of Serge Aurier from PSG for a fee of £23 million. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has completed his move to Liverpool. He's their fourth signing of the summer. We understand it to be a 6-year deal. Meanwhile, Sky sources, they understand that Swansea have agreed a deal with Manchester City. That's to sign Wilfried Bony. And what about this player? Is he a replacement for Fernando Llorente? We understand Tottenham have agreed a deal to sign him.
Really, you'd think that Llorente would be signing as a replacement for Vincent Janssen, who signed last summer for Tottenham. Let's have a look at their stats from last season in the Premier League. Both of them in their first season in the Premier League. They should just be coming up in a moment. Yeah, here we go. So, Llorente versus Janssen. Janssen's a lot younger, but if you look at the games, fairly similar. A lot more goals for Fernando Llorente with 15-2. More assists for Janssen, but not many for either of them. But this is where the real difference is. Shot conversion, 28% for Llorente. That's not bad. But I'm afraid 7% for Janssen, that is.
Swansea grab an unlikely equaliser here in stoppage time. Big chance! Llorente has got that equaliser! This is Gylfi Sigurdsson, and Llorente's on target! Still, it's done brilliantly here, Dyer. A positive for Llorente. Goal back for Swansea City. Fernando Llorente again. Sigurdsson with the Swansea goal. And he's turned it on! He's turned it on! Llorente again in the right place at the right time.
Now, Deadline, we want to hear from you. We always want to hear from you, actually. We're just going to make my way from the hub and go to the social media desk, because this news about Fernando Llorente is big news. It's big news that we actually weren't expecting on Deadline Day, but how have the Tottenham fans reacted to it? Right, well, let's get one here from Matthew. It said, I'd happily take an older striker in Llorente as backup for Kane's experience in Europe will be useful. Remember, he's used the hashtag Deadline Day. Remember to do that when you tweet us at Sky Sports News, hashtag Deadline Day. There's one here from Joshua who is enjoying our coverage. That's good to hear, Joshua. Hooked to Sky Sports News on Deadline Day. Would be pleased for Tottenham to sign Fernando Llorente. Surely this means that Janssen is going. Well, that's what we're suggesting, isn't it? But what about Callum, though? He's not so sure. He doesn't think that Llorente is worth it. He says 32-year-old, can't see him playing much at the time either. Not good enough for the Champions League. Well, his Champions League record is actually pretty good. But if Llorente does come in, there's another one here who says that he wants Tottenham to continue to sign players. Says, come on, Tottenham, please make a last-minute bid for Renato Sanchez. He'll be wasted at Swansea. Can you imagine that then, if Tottenham takes Swansea star striker and then Nick Sanchez from under their nose? Well, I tell you what, let's get the latest now, because I think over there I can see Carve Solical. What have you got for us, Carve?
Yes, we've got a quick update for you on Diafra Sakho. This is the West Ham striker who seems to have gone missing. He had a medical yesterday at Rennes without West Ham's permission. Now, this story is getting stranger and stranger. What's going to happen today is that Diafra Sakho is going to fly back to the UK. We think he's going to be landing in an airport near London at about 2:20. What we're being told is from there he's going to be taken to Chelmsford Racecourse, because one of his advisors has got a horse running in the 3:20. The name of that horse is Siege of Boston. They're going to watch that horse run in the 3:20 at Chelmsford. Then from Chelmsford, they want to go and see West Ham's co-owners to tell them face to face that he wants to leave West Ham. Bit of a problem there, because David Sullivan, one of the co-owners, is on holiday at the moment. But what we're being told is Diafra Sakho landing in the UK this afternoon, then going to Chelmsford Racecourse to watch his advisor's horse run in the 3:20. Then he wants to see West Ham to tell them he wants to leave.
Thanks, Carve. So plenty of action going around the newsroom here. Leon Osman at the desk with Rob, eagerly awaiting to talk about some of those big deals that have gone through and will also go through later on this evening. Every player in England must be registered by the Football Association. And let's go live now to their offices. Take a little sneak inside. It's in Wembley Stadium. Brian Swanson is there for us. It's the first time that they've opened their doors for us. So Brian, just tell us what it's like in there.
Yeah, welcome here inside Wembley. This is the FA's player status team. This is where every transfer must be registered in time for tonight's deadline. As you'd expect, it's an office full of people just quietly, professionally getting on with their work here in front of their computers. We have tried to get the FA to let us to show us some of these things, but you can't expect too much too soon. Andy Ambler, the familiar face here at the Football Association, of course, 9 years in charge at Millwall, the FA's Director of Professional Game Relations. Andy, just explain to us how transfers work from an FA's point of view.
From an FA's point of view, Brian, clubs will send their documentation to us. At the same time, they'll send it to their respective leagues. It's our job to actually check all the documentation to make sure it complies with regulation and briefly, basically get it back to the clubs and get players ready for registered with their clubs as soon as possible.
I don't see a fax machine.
No fax machines anymore. No, it's all PDF and email and even transfer matching system if it's an international transfer through the FIFA system.
How many players have the FA registered this summer?
Well, it's not just PL and EFL. We register players all the way through the National League system. So far we're over 3,000 in the 3 months of the window. We also handle a clearinghouse for payments to agents and also payments overseas. And so far we've put about 650 to 700 million through that. But that can be from transfers from last year because you obviously commercially you can pay for a player over a period of time. So yeah, we're busy.
9 years at Millwall, you know what it's like on the other side. From your experience there, how does that impact on what you're experiencing here?
It's interesting from here because I'm seeing everything rather than seeing just my own old club. But no, basically what we have to do here is offer a service to the clubs. The clubs are our customers and basically make it less stressful for them. I know what it's like at the other end. You know, you hope when you're at a club that the chairman and the manager say 5 o'clock tonight, well, let's go home, we've done our business. But it doesn't work like that. So you know, the stress of getting all the signatures on all the pieces of paper and getting it here before 11 o'clock is immense. So it's our job to educate, help, and make sure those clubs have got all the information they need for it to run as smoothly as possible.
And just briefly, you have to see everything, don't you? You get the fee, you get the money, the agents, the work permits. You have to have sight of everything.
Yeah, we do. Basically, yeah, we run the government body endorsement criteria. So if anyone's bringing a non-EU player, it has to reach the criteria. If it doesn't reach the criteria, there's an exceptions panel which clubs can apply for. We've got one of those on standby this afternoon, should it be needed. That's an independent panel. So yeah, we're across everything, and it's so yeah.
How late does it go tonight for you?
It'll go really late, you know. We could go into the early hours of the morning, depending on how late the clubs go. So, but we'll be here till the early hours, definitely.
And just finally, Andy, what about the transfer windows that don't close tonight? The ones in Spain, other leagues that close later on. Does that have any impact on you because you are, after all, the registrations department?
Yeah, of course it does, because obviously players can go out, you know. But tonight is the deadline for players coming into England, so basically that's what we're concentrating on. But yeah, it doesn't stop tonight, so we don't get in tomorrow morning and go, oh, that's it, because we can carry on, and so things can happen, and we've got certainly for the FA Cup, we've got the qualifying round of the FA Cup on Saturday, and those clubs can still register players until 12 o'clock tomorrow to play in that competition. So it doesn't just stop tonight for the guys; they'll be back in tomorrow morning, even if it's the early hours, and continue to register, and from there. Yeah.
So you have it, Andy Ambler, thanks so much indeed. So this is what it is like inside the Football Association's offices. We've talked about Philip Coutinho, we've talked about Alexis Sanchez. I can hear the sharp intake of breath behind me, but no, we're not getting anywhere near the computers to see what's really going on. But that just gives you an idea about just what the Football Association do here on transfer deadline day. It is going to be a very busy one in the coming hours.
Yes, thanks for now, Brian, and as you say, great to get a little sneak peek inside the offices of the FA. Now, we are with every Premier League club throughout the day, as expected, getting you those news stories. We're going to be joining Dominic Cork very shortly. He's got the umbrella up at Stoke. But first, let's take you over and get more on the future of Jonny Evans. 3 Premier League clubs that have been linked with him. Our reporter, Rob Dorset, has the very latest at West Brom's training ground. Rob?
Yes, Rachel, we still wait. It's an incredibly tense situation here, actually, at West Bromwich Albion's training ground. We've heard the first team training. We've heard those huge dulcet tones of Tony Pulis booming out across the training ground. He, like everybody else, is waiting to see if a big money offer comes in for Jonny Evans. We know Manchester City want him, but let's show you these pictures. This is where Jonny Evans is right now, at Manchester Airport. He's about to get on a flight to San Marino because he's with the Northern Ireland squad. Has had an injury, but we expect him to play for Northern Ireland. So for the next 2 hours and 24 minutes, Jonny Evans is going to be in the air. That makes things pretty tight, doesn't it, when he lands with that deadline just, 10 and a bit hours away now? Will there money come in from Manchester City for Jonny Evans, or indeed from Arsenal or from Leicester, who've all shown an interest in him?